Today's podcast explores the question of why men hit their wives. Men who abuse their wives are usually passive and dependent individuals, but they won't admit that. They find it difficult to express emotions and to deal with anger in nonviolent ways, but they won't admit that. Often they did not have a close relationship with their mother. They may never have formed a close, warm, intimate relationship with any woman at all. Men who abuse their spouses often have low self-esteem, and their wives do as well. Power and control are also essential features in the dynamics of spousal abuse. A wife abuser tends to be filled with anger, resentment, suspicion, tension, and fear. Often the husband may simply be displacing his anger about his situation or circumstances onto his wife. He is, in essence, using her as a vent for the frustrations of his life. He believes that home is one place where he can express those feelings without punishment to himself. For instance, anger with his boss couldn't be acted upon without dire circumstances. Yet all too often he gets away without penalty when he beats his wife. She becomes the target of his vengeance, and he gets the satisfaction he is looking for. The abusive husband often exhibits the following traits. 1. He has low self-esteem. 2. He blames circumstances for his problems and does not assume personal responsibility for his actions. 3. He is pathologically jealous and often exhibits a dual personality. 4. He has severe stress reactions during which he uses drinking and wife battering to cope. 5. He frequently uses sex as an act of aggression to enhance his self-esteem in view of waning virility. 6. The abusive husband demonstrates unpredictable behavior, belittles his partner, rages with uncontrolled anger, and later often asks for a second chance. 7. Abusive husbands are chameleons. They say they will change and will not hit again. They play on their wife's guilt. For example, they might say something like, "Well, if you love me, you would just do X." 8. Outwardly, the abuser may seem charming, gregarious, and even gentle to family members. But beneath the surface, they dislike women and believe that a woman's place is in the home and that men have the right to control women. 9. They often witnessed abuse in their home growing up and frequently abuse their children as well. 10. They isolate the family. Isolation from family and friends is a key goal for the abuser because it forces the victim into total submission. They might say something like, "Your family causes too much trouble for us. I don't want you seeing them anymore." Most women suffer these attacks for years before they finally determine to take steps to keep from being victims of further abuse. The first step for a woman to take is to admit to herself that she is being abused and that she is not being treated fairly. She has the right to feel safe from physical harm, especially in her own home. No one, including a husband, has the right to hurt another individual. In addition, abused women need to work on their self-image with a trusted counselor or pastor in order to develop better feelings about themselves. Okay, so here are some truths to bring emotional healing to the battered wife. She is not to blame for being beaten and abused. She is not the cause of another's behavior. She should not like or want the abuse. She does not, I repeat, does not have to take it. She's a worthy woman, precious to God, and deserves to be treated with respect. She does have the power to take charge of her own life, and she can use that power and the grace of God to take care of herself, to decide what is best for her and her children, and can make changes in her life. She is never alone. And I know this is not meant to be a spiritual podcast, but it does say in the spiritual teachings of Christ that Jesus has promised not to leave or forsake you. If you are battered, I encourage you to ask for help. There are good counselors out there ready and waiting to help and support you. Emergency shelters, hotlines, women's organizations, social service agencies, community mental health centers, and hospital emergency rooms are all safe places for shelter. You deserve to make your own life safe and happy and can hold hope for the future. Citation, John Key Vining, When Home is Where the Hurt Is. And Jennifer Baker Felming, Stopping Wife Abuse. And preachitteachit.org. Thank you for listening. Please consider subscribing.